Hello, my beautiful friends. I'm Janet. Welcome to my channel where I hope to inspire you to create a home and a life you love. Well, this is week 2 of our construction journey. I've been sharing steps along the way to the renovation project that I'm working on now. So let's get into week 2. Day 7 of the renovation project was paint prep, paint prep, paint prep, and more paint prep. Anytime you are painting, my friends, preparation is key, and it should take more time than the actual painting. So when you hire a professional who really knows what they're doing, they focus in on the prep. Prep and product are the 2 most important things when it comes to painting. I have learned that from my expert painter, Mike, who always does tons of prep work, and he knows exactly what products to use, where, when, and why when you're painting. So prep should take a long time because you need to prep all those surfaces, both inside and on the exterior, correctly in order for an excellent looking paint job. So you need the paint to adhere properly, you need the paint to stay for years to come, and you need your paint project to look beautiful. So today we focused on a ton of paint prep. There was so much work needed on the outside of this house to prepare for paint. The eaves were destroyed, the woodwork was destroyed, there was ivy all over the house, all over the woodwork, all over the brick. We had to power wash everything. There was tons of scraping and more scraping and sanding and more sanding. We had to Bondo windowsills that had rotted. There was just a ton of paint prep, and Mike knows how to do all of that. He is a master when it comes to painting. So he worked long and hard on these windows and prepping them correctly for paint. So that was day 7. Day 8, unfortunately, it was a rainy day, which stopped us from doing outside work. But Mike could continue his prep on the doors because we could open those into the house and he could sit inside where it was dry and work on the doors. And they had a lot of paint prep as well. They had peeling paint and even some peeling wood veneer on the front door that he was able to fix in order to save those 2 beautiful doors from 1972. The front door, I think, is really kind of a funky, cool design, and you don't see them anymore that often. And that door back there behind me matches the front windows. The window on that door matches the front window, so I really wanted to save it, and he was able to do that. We're in the rain, looking at patio and walkway options. Day 9, all sorts of action over here on the job site on day 9 of our construction journey. So we have Mike continuing the paint, 2 people doing landscaping and destumping. V, who's known as our superhero, or Brutus over here, was destumping. And he also removed the old exterior lights for us. And because the electrician was here and took off the old electric service meter housing, there was some areas where Mike hadn't power washed. Once that came off, he did some touch-up power washing to get rid of the debris that was behind those meter housings. This is how you throw your back out. Okay, let's see who throws their back out first.
I used to hear I did surveying in Louisiana and I had to hold that thing to my nose like this.
Watch out.
Look out, Mike.
Break his back.
Oh, yeah.
You start on the corner.
Concrete removal started with Brutus. He's got all sorts of nicknames. V started the concrete removal. We had to use a sledgehammer to break up all the concrete in the yard because there's fencing and it was too difficult to bring in machinery or a truck, so it all had to be done by hand. V is amazing. And then, as usual, I spent more time at the office, Home Depot, getting more supplies, so I had to do a supply run on day 9. All right, day 10 of the construction journey. V takes out the sidewalks. That all had to be done by hand with a sledgehammer. The carpenter is here repairing the soffits around the roof. And then Mike was able to start painting all of those soffits. We were able to complete more landscape work, and V, who is 6'6", was able, without a ladder, to take off our outside lights. Day 11. I don't have 11 fingers. This concludes the end of our second work week. We had to remove all of the concrete, which means throwing it in the truck, driving it to the dump and dumping it. Mike was able to start painting the windows today, so that was exciting. And that concludes the week. After a long work week on Saturday, I had to take a little bit of a break. And since I had to drive my son somewhere far away, I decided I'd take a little drive in the country and see the fall leaves changing. And I stopped at a pumpkin patch and had some of those pumpkin spice donuts and some hot apple cider. And I decided not to go in the corn maze, but I had lots of fun. And then I took myself out to dinner. Oh, but before the dinner, I looked at another property, a potential cottage, and that was not a doable project for me. It needed way too much reconfiguring inside. So I decided to pass that one up. And then on Sunday, I went to Home Depot to meet with the kitchen designer. And I had to evaluate the appliances and pick appliances so we could finalize the sizes and measurements of the cabinets. So we weighed back and forth. Do we go smaller with appliances? Do we stay with standard sizes? So here are the appliances I'm thinking. I just switched to this countertop depth. I like it without the handles because the handles just stick more into the room. Like, see this? So going without the handles, and a wider fridge, get a little bit more storage space. So what do you guys think of this stainless with no handles? The wider fridge also comes with a drink dispenser, which I tend to not like, and it's a little bit shorter. I'll show you the stove. All right, you know what? Let's look at the dishwasher. It's over here. Could actually go with the LG dishwasher or the matching Samsung, which I kind of like because it doesn't have the branding on it. It's on the inside. All right, the stove is actually on sale right now. So I'm going to compare prices to my contractor discount at another appliance store and then see what deals they have here, because sometimes things go on sale at Thanksgiving time. Sometimes prices actually go up as a trick. But this stove is on sale for $800. I prefer no backsplash, but it's actually cheaper even than the ones with the backsplash. So I like no backsplash behind the stove because you can then either have your tile go all the way down to the counter, or if you have no backsplash but just do a granite countertop, you can do a granite backsplash behind the stove all the way around. I don't like it just going like to this bigger backsplash. I like it just to like run all the way across. One of the reasons I like doing the countertop backsplash instead of tile is that everyone has a different preference of tile. They can always take it out and add tile if they want to change the look, or maybe they want a bright color tile or something that's not as neutral as you need to go when you're flipping. So a lot of times I'll just do that type of backsplash, and if you want color, you can paint the walls a color and a buyer can easily change that. So I just think these look a little bit higher end and nicer also. And I think the kitchen looks better without this big backsplash attached to the stove. It just feels outdated. It reminds me of these stoves. Like, what is the point of that? You know, I think back in the day, some of them even vented through there. Maybe this one does still. But, you know, that was the point back then. But now everyone has a range hood. 100 years ago, a lot of people didn't have a hood. All right, that's my 2 cents on appliances. Let's see how Galina's doing with the design. By the end of that day, both of our heads were spinning so much from changing measurements. And do we need a spacer or filler here? Do we need this? Do we need that? What are we going to do? We had to resume the next day to complete our kitchen design when both of us could think clearly. And I landed on hiding the microwave in a base cabinet and doing a little bit wider fridge, but going with that countertop depth, full size stove. And I'm going to use a range hood instead of a microwave hood because I just think it would look a lot prettier when you're looking into that open concept kitchen and you can see the pretty hood as opposed to a microwave up in that space. And with this house, there's a huge picture window in the front. And in theory, somebody could be standing outside, see in past the living room and see the kitchen. And I just think it would be a lot more attractive seeing a range hood up in that space. So the whole kitchen looks really beautiful as opposed to a microwave in that space. So we finalized the kitchen drawings and that was my weekend and actually into Monday because I had to finish the kitchen design on day 2 with her. All right, friends, that concludes week 2 on our construction journey. A lot has been done and there's a lot more to go. So please keep following along for more of this renovation project. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell, do all those fun things below. I hope you keep watching, and until next time, ciao for now.